Right. Good evening, guys. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing good. Right. Thank you for joining me for yet another session of Talking OHS with myself, Jasper. For those of us who have joined this session just now, please subscribe to our page. Please share with everyone as much as possible. It's appreciated. Cool stuff. Just want to do one quick thing concerning COVID-19. Third wave is upon us. We are being hit by the third wave. So it's important, guys. Let's be careful out there. Let's be safe. Very, very important. But now, how does this affect you as a safety officer? As a safety officer, there are two things that I need you to know concerning COVID-19. Obviously, you must have a COVID plan. Obviously, you must do your COVID-19 risk assessment. Those are the basics. But I want you to be aware of two things with regards to COVID-19. When the third wave has come upon us like this, there'll be more infections. And remember, right now, probably government won't impose a hard lockdown on all of us. They'll say, guys, you have to continue working because government can't fund another lockdown. They don't have that kind of money. So most likely we are out on our own. We have to continue working. And believe you me, we want to continue working because without working, we cannot have an income. But this is how the cookie crumbles with regards to safety officers. Number one, guys, whenever an employee contracts COVID-19 at the workplace, they are eligible to get compensation, just like any injury or just like any disease. I've done this COVID-19 training for several companies, and one of the things which has been highlighted by most delegates during the training is that there are some of them who have contracted COVID-19 at the workplace, but the company, whether it's HR or the safety officer, did not help in processing the claim for that particular person. COVID-19 is dangerous. COVID-19 kills. COVID-19 is inconveniencing. Some of us don't have the luxury of having several rooms or a house which is big enough for one to isolate, safe isolate or quarantine and all. So it's an inconvenience. Some of us were living with grandmothers, grandfathers, were living with people with comorbidities. Hey, that word, comorbidities. Yeah, I think it's comorbidities, yes. So we easily spread the disease. So it's necessary for people to be compensated. Very, very important. Now, last year already, long back, not even now, last year already, let me share with you this, it was declared already, sometime March already, that COVID-19 is part of COIDA and it's eligible for what? For compensation. This was the notice which went out. Notice on compensation or for occupationally acquired novel coronavirus disease, which is COVID-19, under the Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act. So when someone contracts or is infected occupationally at the workplace, they are due to receive compensation. Very, very important. Tell your brothers, tell your sisters, as a safety officer, make sure that none of your team members who get COVID-19 at the workplace get to go through it and not be compensated. And it was effected last year already, 2020 March. So please, compensation must be done. Very, very important. Next question, which is usually asked by delegates is, Vusi, how will people know? How will they know that I contracted COVID-19 at work or at home or at the mall or at my son's school or at my girlfriend's place? Or how do we know? How does the employer get to know that so-and-so did not get it out there? Now they claim that they got it at the workplace. The burden of proof is not really on the employees. The employees read it just to produce 5 main things when they have or when they've contracted COVID-19. Let me share with you one of the slides in the trainings that I do. Under claims process, we're saying here, the following situation will qualify when you got COVID-19 at the workplace or when you suspect. Number one, just prove that you got occupational exposure to a non-COVID-19 source. So just tell us, where is the source? If the source is known, that's all you have to do. If you believe the source is at the workplace and it was known that at the workplace there was some with COVID-19 or there was a possibility, that's all you need. Number two, a reliable diagnosis as per WHO guidelines. Don't test at some funny place or some funny pharmacy. Go to a recognized place, get a proper test done, and the results by a recognized institution. They will need that. Number three, approved official trip or travel history. If you traveled, maybe being sent by a company, like for instance, next week I'll be traveling to Middleburg. I'm doing training there. So I must show proof that I had gone there. If I was sent by an employer, proof, maybe it's a form on the email which says, Jasper, we hereby send you for a training, so and so, kokai. Please go and do training there. Just prove that you were on a work assignment. Number 3, presumed high risk, or rather it's number 4, presumed high risk. Tell us there are hotspots. If the place where you went to was a hotspot, then you show that, yes, I'd gone to this place and it's a hotspot. Last week, I was doing training for a client in Durban. So there I was there, and Durban is probably a hotspot. So I'll highlight that, yes, I was actually in Durban and it's a hotspot. Somewhere where it's a high risk environment. The number 6 or 5 or 6, they only want a chronological sequence between the work exposure and the development of the symptoms. Basically, they are saying that show us chronology to show that you went for you went for the work assignment on this date, and a few days later started producing the symptoms, or a week later, some chronological steps which show that there is a link or a correlation between you doing the work or being exposed occupationally and the symptoms of the COVID-19 virus. But what am I saying? Safety officers out there, COVID-19 is upon us. The third wave is upon us. Please make sure that you have got a COVID-19 plan. Make sure that you have your trainings done. Make sure that the duty of informing has been done. Make sure that a COVID-19 risk assessment has been done. Make sure that your sanitizers have got more than 70%. Make sure that every employee is provided with 2 masks at the very minimum. Make sure that social distancing is done, at the physical distancing is done. Make sure that where physical distancing cannot be done, you just put a barrier. All of those things are important. Very, very important. I'm saying this out of my head because I've done this training several times, but there is a lot more which you need to implement. Very, very important. If you want to know more about all of these things, I've got a safety officer training course which I'm running, and one of the modules which we're covering is COVID-19 awareness and implementation. Join us for that safety course training. It's 5.5. I think we're now on module number 3 or so, on week 2 or so. People are join and be part of this class, which is quite cool and quite beneficial. Otherwise, thank you for joining me for this class. It's just a beautiful, beautiful Sunday evening. Relax and let's prepare for tomorrow. Keep well. Have a good week ahead. Enjoy the week. Have a blessed week. I'm not prophesying here. I'm not a prophet. I'm not a pastor. I just wish you well. I enjoy when all of us prosper. I enjoy when all of us do well. And I want you to do well. I wish you to do very, very well as a safety officer. It's nice in Njengabantu when we grow and we develop and we do well. And I want that for all of us. Keep well. Have a good week. Be blessed. Cheers. Bye-bye. Communicate with me. Drop me an email. Drop me an SMS. Drop me a WhatsApp. Let's just talk and help each other to be the best we can be in the field of occupational health and safety. Cheers. Bye-bye.